My name is John Irvin, and I serve as the kind of communications director at Connection Church in Statesboro. I've been here about 10 years and kind of served in different roles and worn different hats, but currently just kind of the one overseeing our creative team, overseeing some of our guest services stuff on Sundays. And so I kind of also do some of our web work. And so my job's been interesting over the past week or so, trying to figure out how do we take our world online almost completely. But definitely do not have any of this figured out, but happy to try to help any other churches, and really want to hear from some of y'all as well, so we can continue to update and change things and learn from y'all as well. Yeah, so to start off, wanted to kind of go over a little bit of what we've done. And this has been a learning process, and it's honestly on a daily basis, we're changing it, updating it. But I guess I kind of want to walk back kind of what our process has been, and kind of how we've gone about the decisions that we've made. So we made the official decision, I guess it was last Saturday, to cancel that next Sunday's service based off on some information that was provided for us. And so initially for us as a church, we just kind of played defense a little bit. We were just trying to kind of get information communicated to our people. And so right off the bat, the first thing we did is we created just a specific updates page on our website. And if any of you want to go and look at that, it's just our website, which is what you should see on your screen right now. It's connection.church/updates. And this was we've used this same page in the past whenever there was hurricanes and we had to cancel church. And so it was a good place to point people back to. And so we used it initially to just give people some answers to some of the questions that we were getting through phone calls, through text of, hey, what's y'all's plan? What are y'all doing? And so, but right off the bat, that's kind of all it really consisted of, was just answering the questions that people were having. Honestly, and I'll probably say this multiple times, if y'all take away anything from this, my biggest advice to you, and I know the Bible says something about not stealing, it's in there somewhere, but honestly, now is the perfect time to steal from other churches, to borrow ideas from other churches. Honestly, anything that you see on here has been because it's me or people on our team that we've just been searching online, looking at what are other churches doing, what are they trying, what are other organizations doing, and really just taking those ideas and trying to adapt them, change them, or sometimes just using the exact same idea and incorporate it on our website. So there's not really any new ideas, and we knew that we needed to learn from other people. And so I would say the biggest advice I could give you is look at what other people are doing and take those ideas. And so we didn't even know what questions to answer at first necessarily. And so we took honestly some of those questions from another church, looked at kind of what they were answering, and kind of used some of the same content. And that just kind of gave us a running start with things. And so after we kind of got through that Sunday, and we're able to point people to an online service, we decided to shift this page to be more of a offensive page, to where we could begin providing content to our people. And so instead of just answering questions, we wanted to begin to put things into their hands, so they could begin to take ministry into their own hands. We really wanted families and parents to be able to lead their children well during this time. And so I'm going to kind of go through this page and kind of as it stands right now and what we've done. And so at the top of this page, we just wanted to address our church, let them know kind of that we're trying to monitor this, look at this, and we felt it was important for them to be able to hear from our pastor. We did a message right here on our page where when people click on it, they can see it's about a 9-minute long video that's really just an encouraging thing from our pastor, giving them something to hope for, giving them some perspective. Oftentimes it's easy to panic in times like this. It's easy to forget the gospel. It's easy to forget the truths of Scripture. And so this was just a chance for them to hear from their pastor, and to bring the focus back to Christ, and to let that be our foundation. So we thought that was very important beyond anything else, is for them to hear from him. I'm sorry, did somebody say something? No, okay. And so that's kind of what we wanted to start off with. As you kind of scroll down our page, the next things that we wanted to be able to focus on is just what a typical Sunday would look like. And so we wanted to give easy access to our live stream. The good thing for us is we already did a Facebook Live. And so we shifted in addition to Facebook. We realized a lot of people weren't on Facebook. And so we wanted to be able to offer that stream on our website and on YouTube as well. And so the way that we do it is we actually stream everything through Vimeo. Vimeo is just a online video platform, much like YouTube. And from Vimeo, Vimeo then sends it out to Facebook, sends it out to our website, sends it out to YouTube. And so it's very good functionality there. But there's many other softwares out there that allow you to stream to multiple different platforms. That was just the one that we kind of already used. And so it made that a little bit easier. And so this is a good point for people to be able to, on Sunday mornings, they can come to this page and go to whatever link they want to be able to go to access that content. We also already had online giving available to people. And so really just trying to point some of the people that weren't currently using that. We are in a small town, a small southern town. And so doing things online, whether that's a live stream or whether that's online giving, that's still new to a lot of people. And so what we wanted to do is to try to offset any I guess, nervousness or just uneasiness, because for a lot of people, giving online is never something they've done before, or watching a service online is never something they've done before. They've only done church a certain way their whole life. And so we just wanted to be able to kind of help point them in those directions. And again, the good thing is many of our church were already familiar with things. And so all we needed to do was just kind of remind them that these tools, these things are available to them, but not really talk about them any more than we would have typically done it, but just try to point them if making it easy for them to be able to do that. We've got some how-to articles on the giving page just to make it easier for people. And that's some of the things we're trying to continue to create. One of the other things we did is we had our worship team create some playlists on both Spotify and Apple Music. And so that way, when they're at home, if they just wanted to be able to worship along to some of the same music that we sing on Sundays, it just gives them the opportunity to be able to do that with their family. Oftentimes we get messages on social media saying, hey, what was that song that y'all sang on Sunday? And so this was an easy way for people to get access to all that information. And again, the point of this page is everything's one click away for them. And so they can go to this page and anything they want to access is really just one click away. As you continue to scroll down, then we want to be able to provide not just Sunday resources, but resources for our kids ministry, our student ministry, as well as our connect groups, which is what we call our small groups or Sunday school. I know it's different things for different churches. What we did for our Connection Kids page, I'm actually going to click on that, is we wanted to provide all the content that our children would be receiving on a Sunday. We now have housed online. So the videos that they would watch, they can see these videos right there. We use the Orange curriculum. And so these are the same videos that they would watch online. And then we also provided the lessons that our volunteers use. And so when you click on one of these lessons, this is the exact same content that those volunteers would get. And so what we're encouraging is for our parents to go and take these lessons and take this content and teach their children. That way, we didn't want our parents to be able to have church, but our kids not to be able to have church. And so we're really encouraging our parents to take this and to kind of begin to take leading their children a little bit more into their own hands. I had a meeting with our creative team this morning, and we're talking about trying to get some of our large group leaders that serve in our kids ministry to even film some videos of them teaching some of the lessons. That way parents could see what does it look like to teach a child a lesson. We've got a lot of great volunteers that are teachers, and so those are great people to lean on during this time. And so if you've got teachers in your congregation that can film themselves teaching through a lesson, that's I think a great resource for parents, because a lot of times they just don't know where to start. They don't even know how to get into it. And so being able to see what does this look like could be very, very helpful for them. We also did the same thing we created a worship playlist of some of the kids' music that we do on Sundays. And so when I know my little girls, they love to listen to worship songs we just pull it up on the TV for them to sing along to. And so being able to let these parents know what are some of the songs that they would typically be singing, so they can continue to worship online as well. And so that's kind of what we did for our Connection Kids page, and we're just going to continue to look for more ways to provide content for our parents to provide for our kids. For our student ministry, what we decided to do is we created an online environment for that as well. And so when we click on this page, what we did is we created our student service happens on Wednesday evenings. And so we decided to create basically a Wednesday night service online. And so as you look on this page, we did the same thing. Justin is our student pastor, and so we decided let's do a video where he just gets to share his heart to our students during the season and kind of encourages them and lets them know what to expect. He addresses parents a lot because he really wants to encourage our parents to, again, take the lead in teaching their children. And wanted to create some easy links for them to follow us on social media. That's where a lot of our kids already are. And so the good thing about the younger generation is they're already equipped for meeting online. They're already very familiar with that. And so it's really just kind of reminding them of those things. And so the first thing we do on a Wednesday night is we worship together. And so we decided to create links to some of the songs that we would have sung on that same Wednesday night. And so we encouraged them to sing these songs together, to do that with their family, do that with, if they had a couple friends together. That was kind of before some of the gatherings were limited, but we wanted them to just be able to worship and have that time of worship on that Wednesday night. And then after that, we encouraged them to watch a short devotional. And this, again, was from Justin. It's just a very short 2-minute thing where he looked at a scripture and he really expanded on it and then began to ask some questions. We even provided a sermon transcript. And so everything that Justin was preaching on and sharing with them, we had in written form as well. And we encouraged the parents to read through that ahead of time so they would be kind of familiar with that. We got a lot of good feedback from that the parents really enjoyed being able to have that manuscript to be able to look at and to refer to. And then we gave them some discussion questions at the bottom just to be able to talk through. And so it's a good starting point for conversation. And so different questions for them to engage in whatever that devotional was over. And we'll probably continue to do something very similar to this. So that way we can really still have our service. It's just going to be on an online form. We're trying to get some more feedback from some of our parents and students on, did this work? Did you like this? That's the biggest thing that we're trying to do right now is to get feedback from our people. Is we don't want to just try to create content that we think they need, but we want to be able to hear how can we as what can we provide for you as the church staff? What can we do? What can we do to make this time easier for you? And we did the same thing, again, that we did for all the other areas. We created a specific playlist for our students to be able to worship alongside each other just during the week as well. And so that's kind of what the student page looked like. And this will just be something we'll update on a weekly basis. And then the final thing is our connect groups is we encourage all of our leaders to continue meeting using things like FaceTime or Skype or Zoom, the same thing that we're using right now. We're going to try to create some how-to documents. You got some of our people in our church that they're very familiar with technology and they can learn. And there's people in our church that they don't understand it at all. And so however we can try to make that as easy as possible, we're going to try to do. We had several connect groups that they took screenshots of their first online meeting together, and that was really encouraging to see is that they continue to meet just like they would have any other week. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to share those posts that they just had as individuals on social media, and we're going to share it on our main page just to encourage the rest of our church is you can do it too, is that here's a group that we're able to figure it out. And so I think anytime we can highlight what people are already doing, and they took all that initiative on their own. We didn't even have to lead them in that. They just figured it out on their own. And so anytime we can highlight that and highlight what people are figuring out, I think all the better. And the thing that we pointed a lot of our groups to was we already had a resource page that was already available. And on this resource page, we had reading plans, we had study material. We have something called Right Now Media that maybe some of y'all are familiar with, that it's kind of like a Netflix for Christian Bible studies. And so this is a great time to use resources like that. But there's other content on this site that we thought, hey, during this season, we just want to point our groups to this resource page because that's going to be a great starting point. And we really wanted to trust our leaders to lead their groups well and to use whatever content was going to allow that to happen effectively. And so again, the good thing is we already had a lot of online content available. The biggest thing was just letting people know that it was there. There's been times that some of our staff have come across pages on our website that they said, I didn't even know we had this. And so I think anytime you can remind people that we have things available to them, it's almost a good season because all these resources that so many of you probably have available, it's a chance for people to actually begin to use those things. And so to me, that's a very exciting time right now to be able to get people to use these things that we already have created. The final thing on this page is we still have some of those frequently asked questions, and as things develop and as things change, I know for us it seems like it's changing daily, and so this is a good place for us to constantly update people, and that's what we're letting them know is if you want the most up-to-date information to kind of what's happening, go to this page, and so we can change out these questions, we can update it, we can give people the information that they need. But honestly, this page continues to be changed and to be updated because it's something that as we learn new things, as we learn what other churches are doing, and it could be that as we hear from any of y'all, there might be some things that y'all are doing that I say, hey, that's a great idea, and I'd love to be able to do that, and I take your idea and apply it here as well. And so I'm fine with taking ideas, and if there's anything y'all see on here, please take it. I am this is a time not to try to hoard things, not to try to take things. So if there's something you like on here, if you want all of the content, if you want pictures, take all of it. It's not like it belongs to us. So this is a time that as the kingdom, we get to work together. And so this is Harper, my daughter, and so she's here to help too. But this is just a chance to be able to lean on each other. And so again, if there's something you see, please take it. And we'd love to be able to provide anything. And even after this, if you have questions, you want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to give you my email and give you any content that you might need. So that's kind of a brief overview of what we've done and kind of how we're trying to respond. But again, it's we're also, I'll say this too, we're sending out a weekly email to our congregation. We usually did a monthly email, but we decided during this season to do a weekly email. That way, anything that's changing, anything that we can highlight, anything we can point them to, that's a chance to be able to do that and do that in a more effective way. And so again, using the things that you already have available to you and just really pointing people to them has been the biggest thing that has been helpful for us. And I think, again, like just going back to, the comparing side of stuff is there's a lot of things that churches are doing and that's great. And there's things that I look that they're doing that I'm like, that's incredible. But that might not be for us. And so as you look at everything in the spirit of not comparing yourself, is pick and choose and adapt it and use it as inspiration. But realize that your church body is your church body. And that's and obviously we've got, various churches represented here that we all do ministry a little bit different. And so of course, how we go about it at Connection isn't going to fit everybody else. And so I think take a little bit of this, a little bit of that and turn it into your own thing. And y'all know your congregations better than anybody else. And so I think that's really the most helpful thing is finding what's going to be best for you.